Hello everyone, this is Phenom here, and I'm going to keep this introduction short and sweet because I don't know how much time I have left to record because I just spent over a couple of hours just for writing this Loki Extruder story. So please expect me to be rushing through a little bit, but I will try and keep it so that you guys can understand what's going on and keep the pacing good. This is a Loki Extruder. It is simply titled Midguardian Games and is a great shout out to one of my favorite horror game titles. I know that many of you know about it, but I know that the fad for this game is gone, but I cannot help it because I have sworn to be faithful towards this game. Anyway, guys, let's get started. You scream loudly as a teddy bear animatronic spilled onto your screen. When the initial shock wore off, you let out an airy laugh. A few seconds later, you heard shuffling outside the door, and Loki bursts inside. Your name, what happened? You looked at him, baffled it should cause such a ruckus that Loki came in to help. He then giggled. It's nothing, Loki. I was just playing a game, and I lost. Puzzled, Loki went over to the screen, only to see a Freddy suit with eyeballs poking out of it. What in the name of Odin is this game? It's a game called Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a horror game that is about staying alive for a certain amount of time, and all the while you have to make sure that these animatronic animals don't come into your office and kill you. Despite the explanation, Loki still looked confused. It's easier to understand when you're actually playing it. Loki looked at the screen for a few seconds, and you automatically knew what he was thinking. You probably shouldn't play this, Loki. It's really hard. Loki rolled his eyes and grabbed a spare chair. Please, I can handle this simple Midguardian game. It was actually really hard to get Loki to learn the basics of the computer, let alone the game. You had to show him how to use the mouse first, and especially despite his hesitation of it being a real mouse. I do not need to catch some sort of virus from an electronic mouse. Finally, you convinced him to trust the electronic device, and then showed him what not to do in the game. Don't leave the doors closed the whole time. That lowers power, and if the power meter gets to 0, then there is a blackout, and you can probably die. What do you mean, probably? I mean that if it's 5 a.m. and the power goes out, you have a chance of surviving. If it's any earlier than that, then you will die. But the game clock is much faster than ours. So 6 hours in the game is like 6 minutes in our time. Loki then scoffed. Frankly, I don't see what's so difficult about this game. I'm sure even a toddler can handle 6 minutes of this. Slightly insulted, you gave him some sass back. Oh yeah? If you think these Midguardian games are so easy, then why don't you play one night in the game? If you win, I'll let you read my diary forever. But if I win, you have to do one thing I say in front of everyone. And now to Loki's point of view. I was surprised by this sudden deal that your name had brought up. I was curious as to both sides. The thought of me having permanent access to her diary appealed to me. It made me chuckle inside. But I was somewhat nervous about this idea she had planted inside her head. It honestly made me scared enough to where I was debating whether I should take up the challenge. I felt that the thrill was just too delicious to pass up. I nodded and said, "Very well, your name. I'll take up your little game. But trust me when I say I win." I booted up the game and began playing. Thanks to your name's advice, and as well as listening to the person on the cell phone, I had a taste of what it was like and what to do. However, as the time ticked closer to 5, these animatronic creatures were getting closer and closer. I had no choice but to leave the doors closed, as 2 were at my office. Suddenly, the power went out, and your name and I were holding our breaths. When the creature started his horrifying lullaby, your name and I were both so scared we were shaking. The lullaby went off, and footsteps were sounded. Then the bear jumped out, screeching, and myself and your name screamed loudly. When the screeching stopped, we slowly caught our breaths and heartbeats. Then we looked at each other and began laughing. You should have seen your face, Loki. It was freaking priceless. Yours was as well. One would think you were about to die." We both laughed loudly, and when we finally caught our breaths once again, I turned to her with a smile still on my face. "Do I still have to do that favor for you? In front of everyone?" "Maybe later. But first I want to make sure you want it as well." I was puzzled. "And now for your point of view." I felt my heartbeat race as my face heat up as I inched my face closer and closer to his. I finally met my lips with his, and he stiffened up before relaxing. Him putting his hand on my cheek was a signal to keep going. We kissed each other, and I couldn't help but smile as he smelled like tea and old books. A voice then broke us out of our world of making out. "I hate to interrupt you two, but I'm afraid the others are at the door," Jarvis said. "Jarvis, just tell them that we're playing a Midguardian game." "Yes, Miss Last Name. Have fun," the AI said before leaving off. We both then looked back at each other and giggled before going back into kissing. Maybe later I will get Loki to kiss me in front of everyone. But for now, we ought to try the game again. The end. I honestly had so much fun making this because I personally love Five Nights at Freddy's, and everyone has been dying for Loki extra stories, and especially because that particular one I had made a couple months ago, if not a year ago, that one had gotten so many views that I was so startled by it. So I'm hoping to be able to see if I can get a couple more Loki extras out, since that's what everyone seems to appreciate. I would say that the next two stories I have in mind are either a Rocket X Shooter, which is a request that is the last request I am taking right now. I am not taking any more as of right now, so do not ask for them. And the other story I have in mind is a Peter Parker story that is an original idea made by me. But until then, guys, I really do hope you all enjoyed this, and I will be seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye!